Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at criminals who were haunted by their victims. I posted a video like this a few weeks ago and you guys really enjoyed it, so we're back with a part 2.
Victor Amewugah. In 2013, Victor Amewugah hired a taxi driver to take him on a long journey. However, halfway through his ride, Victor Amewugah shot the driver and drove off in the taxi.
Okay, so I don't really get taxis because I'm scared of something like that happening. I'm not scared of me hurting the driver. I'm more scared of the driver hurting me. Think of it, if you're getting in a car with someone, even if it's a taxi driver, you know, like that's a random person. We watched a scary animated story time a few months ago about basically a fake taxi driver. They pretended to be a taxi driver to pick people up and then they ended up, you know, taking one of the victims' lives.
Victor soon repeated this attack by shooting another taxi driver and a manhunt was quickly underway.
Okay, so he took the life of one taxi driver and he done it to another. Has he got a thing against taxi drivers? I mean, it's quite scary how someone can literally have a gun. I'm completely against guns. I think only the army and police should have them. And I know all like the Americans are going to pipe up with their gun laws. I don't care. It's very, very, very rare to have a shooting in Northern Ireland, especially in my area. I don't think I've ever had one in my area because of strict gun laws. If you want to have guns, that's completely fine, but I don't believe people should be able to have like military style guns, especially teenagers.
Victor went on the run from authorities when he started being haunted and attacked by one of his victims.
Okay, so one of the victims is literally went after him and thank God they did. I mean, he literally took their life. Isn't that so scary? Life is so precious and it's really terrifying how there's people like him who can literally take your life like that, like in a split second.
The ghost would constantly appear in his dream and even started slapping him while he slept, leading to many sleepless nights.
Okay, so whenever he would sleep, some of the ghosts would literally appear and slap him. How would that feel? Would that feel like an actual slap? I have heard rumors about ghosts apparently scratching people and like stabbing them very slightly. And apparently if you sometimes like feel a chill walking through you or like past you, that could be a ghost walking past you. I also used to be really scared of getting like possessed by a ghost whenever I was younger. Like if I was ever home alone, I would literally squelch my bum closed. Because for some reason I thought like a ghost would be able to get up my bum and like in through my mouth and like possess me. I mean, I don't think that's the case, but obviously this man got slapped by them.
The events became so unbearable that Victor Amewugah eventually told a friend about what he'd done.
Okay, so because of the torment the ghost put him through, he's finally admitted to what he'd done to a friend. I really do hope the friend went and like called the police and got him arrested. I mean, imagine if your friend sat you down and told you that they'd done something like that. There have been people who've done that to like their friends, like they've told them about the crimes they've committed. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, I'd get on the phone immediately with the police because like I don't want a killer in my house.
His friend quickly called police and Victor Amewugah was arrested.
Okay, so he got arrested. Thank God we've got a killer off the streets. I mean, he took the lives of 2 innocent taxi drivers. Them poor people and them poor families, like they've literally lost a loved one.
Victor confessed to the murders and even expressed remorse for his actions.
I mean, it's good that he confessed and showed remorse, but it still doesn't, like, he's still done, he's still committed the crime. I wonder what goes through people's heads whenever they commit crimes like that. Like, I could never do that. If I literally see somebody with a pimple and, like, it explodes or, like, oozes blood out, I faint. Like, I can't stand that stuff.
Victor even started advising other inmates to change their lifestyles in order to avoid being haunted.
I mean, well, they're probably not going to listen to you considering you literally, like, took the lives of 2 people. It's a bit sweet coming from you, isn't it? Do you reckon he's saying that because he thinks if he, like, admits and, like, says sorry, he's going to get away with it? That ain't how it works, sunshine.
Al Capone. On February the 14th, 1929, Al Capone masterminded a plan to execute 7 associates of the Northside Gang.
Okay, so this was in 1929, quite a long time ago, nearly 100 years ago. It's quite crazy to think that, like, this stuff was still happening back in the day. Also, it would have been a lot harder to figure out the perpetrators of the crimes because, like, they didn't have the technology we have. Back then, they didn't even have color television.
Which included a man named James Clark. Al Capone was the leader of the rival Southside Gang.
Okay, so obviously 2 gangs, they want to try and take out the leaders. Gangs are so scary. Like, I know a lot of people, like kids, can get sucked into gangs very easily. That's why you have to be careful of who you hang around with. Like, you might think the people are nice and good people, but you can get sucked into bad stuff like that really easily.
And the massacres weren't solved for months.
The massacres were not solved for months, so thank God the ghost went and haunted them. If you were able to come back as a ghost, what would you do? Like, what would that feel like? You know how you can, like, fly in your dream? Would it feel like that?
Eventually, Capone was arrested and jailed for tax evasion. station, and the police guards would often hear blood-curdling screams from Capone shouting for James Clark to leave him alone.
Okay, so he's either extremely paranoid, delusional, or he's actually getting attacked by the ghost. I mean, you know whenever you watch a horror films and like a ghost jumps on somebody, would it be like that? Thank God I will never ever commit a crime or do something like that because I don't want the victim to come after me.
The ghost of Clark even followed Capone after he left prison, and the hauntings became so bad that he even hired a medium to get rid of Clark's ghost.
I'm kind of iffy with mediums because like I kind of believe them, but then I also kind of don't. I feel like a lot of times with mediums they sort of tell you the stuff you want to hear. Like you kind of hint at what's going on and you want them to basically reassure you or do like a little magical spell. Maybe they do actually work, but with me I don't know. Like I feel like if you tell them enough information they'll be able to like make up a fake story in their head to like satisfy you.
Later life, Al Capone's bodyguards would often hear him begging someone to leave him alone. Upon entering the room, however, Capone would always be alone.
Well, obviously it's the ghost, like they're going after him. I mean, that's good. If he's literally in a gang and doing crimes like that, he absolutely deserves to get punished. Also, how did he get out of jail? I mean, maybe they didn't know about the crimes he done. Hopefully he'll admit to them. But it's quite crazy, isn't it, how someone can spend like time in jail and then get out and go back to normal life.
Capone stated many times to his bodyguards that he was haunted by the ghost of James Clark.
If someone told you they were haunted, you probably should stay away from them. I mean, I literally say that whenever my house is haunted and I swear I just heard a creak back there. Imagine I turned around and there was just like a demon stood right behind me.
Adrian Daou. In 2010, a woman named Jennifer Stewart was murdered one night in a parking lot in Ottawa, Canada. For 3 years, a crime was left unsolved, and no leads were ever found until one day, a man named Adrian Daou confessed to the police.
Notice how it's always men here getting hunted and committing these crimes. This is why you shouldn't trust people. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but like, be very wary of everyone. I bet you a lot of these victims didn't believe that like one day their life was going to be taken away from them, and especially that day, you know, they literally woke up like a normal day and then by that night they were gone. It's crazy, isn't it?
Police were very skeptical about his confession, as a few of his statements did not fit the crime, but there were a few points that were eerily accurate.
Oh my god, yeah, that is a bit weird, isn't it? I could never work in something like that. Like, I'd love to like figure out crimes and like solve them. Whenever it comes to interviewing them and like looking at the body and stuff, that ain't for me. I love watching NCIS because I feel like that's kind of what then people do. But like, I just couldn't do it. Like, it ain't for me.
When the police told him to reenact crime, his motions were unmatched. Bizarrely, Daou told them he ended Jennifer's life in order to launch his music career, stating, "If I kill someone, I'd be a really good rapper," because people talk about killer stuff.
I mean, that is true. In a lot of rap music, they do talk about taking people's lives, and actually, some of them have actually done it. But I don't think that's gonna literally, like, get your rapping career to go through the roof. Maybe if you went to, like, a label and they promoted you. But that is something that I've noticed. Like, a lot of rappers do talk about doing stuff like that. And it makes you think, are they just rapping for the sake of rapping, or are they actually rapping stuff that they've done?
Adrian said that after the incident, he would regularly see Jennifer's ghost multiple times a day.
Good. I hope Jennifer literally haunted you every single day. I hope she completely ruined your life. I mean, at the end of the day, he took somebody's life. An innocent woman as well. So he absolutely deserves to get haunted.
Daniel French. In 2012, Daniel French decided to rob a house in a retirement village because he wanted easy money.
Okay, so this man wants easy money, so he robbed a retirement place. That's where like a load of old people are. Leave them poor people alone.
As a maintenance worker, he entered the home of 87-year-old Barbara Howe before taking her life.
That poor woman, 87 years old, like she lived a big, long, good life, and then someone like that takes it. Like, that must be atrocious and awful. Whenever you get to that age, like, you're not as quick as what you used to be. It makes you really sad, doesn't it? Because you look at like an old person, you imagine them in that type of situation. There's no way they're gonna get out of it.
He hit her body and rifled through her belongings and stole $18 and a diamond ring, which he later discarded out of the car window.
Okay, so he literally broke into someone's apartment, stole $18, her ring, and then threw it out the window. It doesn't seem very worth it to me, does it? I mean, she probably had really valuable stuff like TV, furniture. I actually have heard that a lot of old people will keep a lot of their money in weird places like sofas, mattresses, etc. There was a story I heard a while ago where basically these people threw out this woman's couch. Little did they know that sofa had all of her money in it and they lost thousands.
Howe's murder went unsolved for 2 years until police managed to piece together evidence that led to David French. After questioning, David eventually confessed to the murder. David apologised for the woman's death and said, "I seen Miss Howe's ghost and I apologised. I feel terrible."
I mean, apologising and saying you feel terrible ain't gonna do much, is it? It's not really gonna bring her back. I think the best thing for you is to get put into jail. I mean, even if he does get put into jail, he's still alive. Like, there is no way that, like, the family can get completely reassured. Obviously, jail's really good because, like, the monster's put away for life. But, like, their loved one is still gone.
Terry Childs. In 1987, Terry Childs stabbed teenager Lois Segala, ending her life. Childs was convicted of murder and sentenced to 41 years in prison.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever watched this case before. However, I do recognise this photo, and I don't know why I think that's a dummy. I hope that isn't a person. But obviously, we can tell this man took someone's life, absolute scumbag. He is gonna get haunted, isn't he? Also, this was in 1987, so he got 41 years in jail. He could be out of jail in a couple of years, like 5 or 6 years. I mean, I hope he's dead.
While in prison, he confessed to more murders, which included sickening acts of violence.
Okay, never mind, he confessed to more murders. He isn't going to be getting out, thank God. But that's so scary, is it? Like, he was a serial killer. It does make you think, like, how many serial killers are out there in the world and how many are active. There's going to be serial killers until the end of time, and that is really scary.
Childs stated he had to confess to the murder in order to free himself from his demons.
I mean, I hope it doesn't free you. I hope they still go for you. I wonder if they're kind of like Dementors, you know, out of Harry Potter, where they suck your soul. Do you reckon, like, that's what the victims are like? They're, like, floating around him, and they just, like, do everything they can to, like, make him paranoid and ruin his life.
He said he was being haunted by the ghosts of his victims and regularly saw them in his cell, staring at him, eating up his brain.
Good. I hope they did, and I hope they genuinely ruined you. I hope they genuinely affected you. If you're gonna go out and do stuff like that, you absolutely deserve to be put through hell.
After he confessed to all of his crimes, the ghosts disappeared. Childs' confessions had increased his prison sentence to life without parole.
Okay, so he's going to be spending the rest of his life in jail. But the ghost left him alone. I don't want that. I want them to go back for him. Also, in a way, that was kind of karma for, like, the people, wasn't it? They done something really bad, and the victims came back, and they were like, you thought you were going to get away with it? Absolutely not. Anyways, guys, that's some criminals who were haunted by their victims. If you want to see me make a part 3, I definitely will. If you're new, hit that big red subscribe button, and yes, I'll see you all in my next video.